Good morning, my name is Paola and today I want to present to you my new online book, Magic Book. Written by me with the purpose of motivating the new generation, especially to young Guatemalan people so they can fall in love with their cultural heritage. That is so wonderful. And I think that this book is one of many that I will be doing with this purpose. Magic Book by Paola Maldonado. She is Maria Valentina.
Magic Book by Paola Maldonado. She is Maria Valentina Lopez Guerrero, a Guatemalan girl of 15 years old, and today I will tell you the wonderful adventure she lived with the magic book. The story begins in a little white house in La Antigua, Guatemala, at one November 1, El Día de los Santos. She didn't care about this Guatemalan tradition and any other thing of Guatemalan culture. Literally, she didn't care about anything. That day, she was in the second floor while her family was in the first one celebrating El Día de los Santos and eating a salad traditionally eaten in that day called fiambre. While Maria Valentina was seeing her phone, her mom asked her to search for the book of Mayan and Guatemalan culture. So she, a little bit mad, went to look for it. When she found it, she noticed that it was in a house shelter. Maria Valentina moved the shelter and the book that was there fell. She looked up to see if it was the one her mom was asking for. A little bit confused, Maria Valentina opened it, and yes, it was the book. But when she was ready to go downstairs, a big, dazzling magical light appeared inside the book, and when Maria Valentina touched it, the book disappeared her, and for a few seconds she only saw white. Then she noticed that she was not in her house, and that she was in a place like in Tikal, with many ruins. She was dressed up like the Mayas she saw on history, and all was very strange, because when Maria Valentina tried to talk, she was not talking in Spanish. First adventure, Mayas. Maria Valentina saw how big Guatemala was in the period where the Mayas were centered, covering all of the Yucatan Peninsula and modern-day her country, Guatemala, Belize and other parts of Tabasco and Chiapas, the western part of Honduras and El Salvador. She also saw that all the territory was covered by temples and palaces in a step pyramid shape, like she had saw in Tikal. Decorate them with elaborate reliefs and inscriptions. The most wonderful part is that all codices and inscriptions that were there writing in Maya language, she can understand it. Discovered that they were very religious, also very intelligent. She had seen the significant advances in mathematics and astronomy. Even she saw the calendar of 365 days, and she was able to see the stars with Maya method. Second adventure, El Colibrí. Maria Valentina was worried because a day has passed and she had not returned home, and she even didn't know how to do it. But suddenly she saw a hummingbird, and she noticed that even though she passed near to him, the bird didn't escape. So she tried to caress him. But a man stopped her before to touch the bird, screaming to her, "Don't touch it! Don't touch it!" She said, "But why?" But the man answering to her said, "Come here, I will tell you a legend." There was a day where the gods were shaping all the animals and insects on earth in clay. Suddenly, they ran out of material, so they decided to continue with a giant stone. They molded a small and fine arrow, gave it life, and instantly it flew off. That's how the hummingbird was formed. It was beautiful in every way. The sun made its feathers shine, but the man wanted to catch it, and the gods got angry, saying that if someone caught it, then the hummingbird would die. Since nobody dared to try it. They are only allowed to fly calmly and do their work in peace, leaving men to admire their beauty and speed. Maria Valentina gets surprised and never do it again. Third adventure, sacrifice! The days keep passing. Maria Valentina learned a lot of Mayan culture. One day, she learned about sacrifice. She learned that it was a ritual offering of nourishment to the gods. For Mayas, blood was as a potent source of nourishment for the deities, and the sacrifice of a living creature was a powerful blood offering. She had said that she didn't believe in that gods, and for her there were only one God. In that moment, she discovered that there were many types of sacrifices, and that in that moment they will make one with her. And what type was the death? Because of offending the gods, they beat her with blood and then put her into a rock situated in the yard of the temple. Then four Mayas came, and when they tried to kill her, she disappeared. But Maria Valentina keeps seeing what happened next. Fourth adventure, only a vision. Then, after Maria Valentina were almost sacrificed, she was capable to see what happened next. But why? Maybe because the real God in which she believes saved her. While she was like a host, she quickly saw how Mayas get almost disappear like Sodoma and Gomorrah. Most of the Mayas turned to salt because they have the opportunity to accept Jesus, but they didn't. And the few that remained had to fight against the Spanish in the conquest. She also saw how Mayas get enslaved and forced to work. Even she saw how all the Mayas culture that she had learned about vanished, as well as their traditions, language, and she saw how Guatemala started to born by mixing those wonderful cultures. Then suddenly, Maria Valentina returned to that dazzling light for another few seconds. Fifth adventure, new culture. Without noticing, Maria Valentina was in Antigua, her home, but it was different. Some places that she had visited before in 2020 was not constructed already. Now she was capable of speaking Spanish, but she was dressed out like people in medieval time. And all people knew her and they called her only by Valentina Guerrero, while in the other decade they called her Maria Lopez. She also appeared in a White House that she recognized as her home. That house belonged in that time to the family Guerrero Castillo. So in that moment she noticed that she was always in the same place, but at a different time of story. Maria Valentina noticed how multicultural, multi-ethnic, and multi-language Guatemala is. Also, she noticed that one of the main strengths that the Guatemala has is its culture, which is a source of development. She saw the wonderful tangible and intangible culture heritage and all forms of artistic and cultural manifestation that Guatemala has. The majesty of its landscapes, archaeological and colonial sites that have been transforming products of the misgeneration between the Mayan and Spanish culture. Listen to more Magic Book in the next video.
Young people, love your homeland, love your traditions, love your customs, love your people. Guatemalan culture is one of the most wonderful of all the world because of our ancestors, the Mayas. That in their time they were the culture that had most astronomic and mathematical advances that let us continue with many traditions and customs that have beginning with them that until now we celebrate, like the day to honor the dead. with kites that reach the sky to send a message to the people that already left us. So don't miss reading this wonderful book and don't let it down.